Hey everyone! Greetings from Brno, greetings from the Czech Republic on this beautiful fall day. The sun is shining and I thought what better way to relax and enjoy my Sunday than with some delicious Moravian wine, of course. So for this video, I wanted to focus in and zero in on a grape varietal that honestly has been quite troublesome for me in the past to love and appreciate. This grape is Sauvignon Blanc. So for those of you in my wine world who know me back from Raleigh, North Carolina, you knew that I was never really a Sauvignon Blanc drinker, never a fan of Sauvignon Blanc. It was never my go-to wine to bring home to enjoy. A lot of that was because a lot of these Sauvignon Blancs we were tasting and bringing into the shop, unfortunately, were just not my cup of tea. They weren't my go-to wine. Some of the Sauvignon Blancs can be produced in a style where they get very grassy, very green, kind of herbaceous, and it can lead to styles that have kind of a capsicum note or a yellow bell pepper, green bell pepper note to them. And it was for these reasons that I kind of abstained from drinking Sauvignon Blanc. So you can imagine my surprise when I moved here to South Moravia and realized Sauvignon Blanc is a whole different animal in this wine world, in this tiny wine community in Central Europe. So Sauvignon Blanc grows extremely well in the soils here. This particular microclimate with its cooler winters and sunny, but not so hot, summer times. This grape can really flourish here, and of course, under the hands of excellent winemakers like from Vinařství Nepraš and Sonberk Winery. These grapes take on an identity and a terroir-driven style that's really unlike anything else I've tasted in the world. One thing that does come to mind, though, when talking about this terroir-driven style is the limestone soil and the limestone outcropping of Polava in the Polava Hills near Mikulov. So this is part of this soil. So this limestone soil is extremely important in the growing of Sauvignon Blanc. Both of these wineries have vines that are planted on top of this limestone bedrock. What that does, it creates a minerality in the wine and a certain identifying mineral character in the wine that's very unique to this wine region. So going into the first Sauvignon Blanc. So these are actually Sauvignon Blancs that have been blended together with another grape varietal. And I thought how interesting to show them here on my video. So the first one I'm doing from Vinařství Nepraš. So this is their Savrie. This is from these Steinriegel plots, and this is their Cuvée. So Cuvée just means blends. This is Sauvignon Blanc and Riesling. 2/3 Sauvignon Blanc, 1/3 Riesling. This is their 2016 vintage. This wine is a cabinet. It is dry. Cabinet just meaning kind of the first harvest, first picking of the grapes. So this wine sits at about 12% alcohol. So it is a fresh style of wine. I'm going to hold it up here for you all to see. So this wine is pale lemon straw color. There's no cloudiness or haziness in the wine, so the wine doesn't have any apparent faults at first glance. Let's take a smell. So what really sets Nepraš for me apart is its really intense minerality on the nose. This wine really picks up that limestone character that I was just speaking about and makes these terroir-driven styles of wine. Radomir Nepraš, Mr. Nepraš, is the owner of this winery. He's been making wine for decades. He is also highly regarded in the Moravian wine scene. He started the National Wine Salon in Valtica. He has been an advocate for Moravian wine, both here and abroad. His stepson is actually the lead winemaker here, André Vesely, and makes delicious, again, terroir-driven styles of wine. So for me, the nose on here is this balance between minerality and a concentrated citrus character, like a yellow grapefruit, lemon verbena, concentrated lemon nose. But fairly medium pronounced on the bouquet. I don't have to dip my nose too far in the glass to smell it. The nose, the aromas really kind of pop out of the glass. Let's give it a taste. So incredible acidity on this wine. Again, that yellow grapefruit lemon character does come through on the palate as well as the minerality. The acid really gets me on the sides, on the insides of my mouth, as opposed to the front. And what that does, it creates this sensation of salivation. It makes me want to eat something, particularly something either buttery or creamy. I think to cut that acidity, I think some mussels and a nice butter garlic sauce would be just what the doctor ordered for this particular wine. But excellent concentration of fruit, succinct minerality, nice long finish. I can still taste it. This wine is not an in and out style of wine. This wine really is zeroed in and focused on the palate. But excellent style of winemaking, and always so happy to taste Vinařství Nepraš's wines. I think they make excellent wines in the Pavlov region. So always stoked to try their cuvées and their blends. So getting into the next wine, always excited to showcase Sonberk. So this is Sonberk's wine. The logo is here. This is their Sémillon Sauvignon Blanc blend. This is a 2015 vintage. A few things about this wine. So first of all, I bet you were not expecting me to have Sémillon here in the Czech Republic. Trust me, I was equally surprised. Sémillon and Sauvignon Blanc are two grape varietals that grow predominantly in Bordeaux. If you ever have a white Bordeaux wine, you're most likely drinking some combination of Sémillon and Sauvignon Blanc. They are two of the 5 accepted grape varietals in the Bordeaux AOC. So you will see Sémillon Sauvignon Blanc blends in either dry white styles or lusciously sweet dessert styles, Sauternes. Sémillon is a grape varietal that's not predominantly planted around the world. It has a very thin skin, and it can be very susceptible to mold and fungus and mildews. However, one fungus in particular, this botrytis or noble rot, can affect Sémillon. However, it can produce a style of wine such as Sauternes, where you can make a lusciously sweet dessert wine with bright acidity. Botrytis does not happen every year. It is only under certain weather conditions and under very controlled circumstances of the winemaker. But produced in a lusciously sweet dessert style, they can be really delicious and age-worthy. However, with this Sémillon Sauvignon, again, their original intention was to produce that sweet style of dessert wine, but as botrytis did not affect it, they made a dry style. And I'm so happy that they did, because this wine is so delicious. I'm not the only one who loves this wine. Decanter recently awarded it a bronze medal with 88 points. And Prague Wine awarded this particular bottle with a silver. So global recognized accolades coming for this wine, and so excited to showcase it here. So about this Sémillon Sauvignon Blanc, so it is 70% Sémillon, which had been matured in old oak barrels, 30% Sauvignon Blanc, which has been matured in stainless steel. These two were then blended together to create this particular cuvée. So Olda Drapal is the winemaker on this wine. So shout out to Olda, you make delicious wine. He's been with Sonberk from the start and really knows his way around the vineyards and of course around the winery, making world-class exceptional wine. So jumping into it, I'll hold it up here. So this is their Sémillon Sauvignon Blanc blends. Really similar in color to the previous, kind of that medium to pale lemon, haze straw color. There's no cloudiness or sediment in the wine, so no apparent fault on the appearance. Let's give it a smell. Wow, so this really intense floral, nutty, hazelnut, kind of creamy aspect to it comes out on the nose. Almost like an apple that's been cooked in vanilla with a hint of sweet spice as well. And the wine has this really intense minerality, but the minerality kind of plays together with that creamy, nutty, like a cooked apple note to it. Wow, so plump on the palate. This wine is fairly round, much rounder than the first. mostly due to that Sémillon. Sémillon produces wines that are a bit more textured, a bit more weight, also more alcohol. This wine is 13% alcohol. So that texture, that roundness is coming from the Sémillon and from that slightly higher alcohol content. But there is still acidity on this palate, slightly floral component on the palate as well, kind of a white flower note to it. But absolutely delicious wines and winemaking. You can imagine that now, living here almost a year, I have tried many Sauvignon Blancs, either in wine competitions or at wine tastings. But I have to tell you, these two are certainly two of my top standouts for Sauvignon Blanc expressions, particularly in these Cuvée examples, Sauvignon Blanc and Riesling with Nepraš, and Sémillon Sauvignon Blanc with Sonberk Winery. But I am just continued to be blown away by the excellent winemaking here in this region and excited to show these wines to the wine world. Very small production. There's under 7,000 bottles of this made every year, even less of the Nepraš winery in Pavlov. So very thrilled to be able to show these small production wineries in South Moravia and enjoy them here along with you. So cheers to Sauvignon Blanc. Never thought I would say that in my wine career. Cheers to Sonberk and Vinařství Nepraš for making really world-class wine. Cheers to you. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your sunny Sunday and hope to see you next time. Cheers.